may recall that when I was with you in April, I preached a sermon called Jesus is Lord. And the primary scripture was, speak with your mouth, Jesus is Lord, and believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, and you will be saved. Jesus is Lord. Today we find out how the resurrection power, the power of life over death, was extended to all of the believers. The event where that miracle of God's power happened is called Pentecost. Today is Pentecost Sunday, and the story of Pentecost is our scripture lesson. The coming of the Holy Spirit. By the way, just in case you're not really familiar with the story, the disciples of Jesus, all of the followers except a couple of the very brave women, were hiding out in Jerusalem for fear of the Jews, scared to death behind locked doors. And Jesus, in one of his appearances, told them that they needed to stay there and wait for 40 days. So 40 days after Easter, that's when Pentecost happened. And until then, they were just waiting for fear of the Jews locked away. The church was going nowhere. There was no power, and they were definitely not plugged in. They were just waiting in fear. That's the context. Then this is what happened next. When the day of Pentecost had come, they were all together in one place, and suddenly from heaven there came a sound like the rush of a violent wind, and it filled the entire house where they were sitting. Divided tongues as of fire appeared among them, and a tongue rested on each of them. And all of them were filled with the Holy Spirit and began to speak in other languages as the Spirit gave them ability. Now, there were devout Jews from every nation under heaven living in Jerusalem. And at the sound the crowd gathered and was bewildered because each of them heard the speaking in their native language. Amazed and astonished, they asked, are not all of these who are speaking Galileans? And how is it that we hear each of us in our own native language? Parthians, Medes, Elamites, and the residents of Mesopotamia. You go to seminary so you can learn how to say all those words. Judea and Cappadocia, Pontus and Asia, Phrygia, Pamphylia, Egypt, and the parts of Libya belonging to Cyrene, and visitors from Rome, both Jews and proselytes, Cretans and Arabs. In our own languages, we hear them speaking about God's deeds of power. All were amazed and perplexed, saying to one another, what does this mean? But others sneered, they are filled with new wine. In other words, they're a bunch of drunks. It's like 10 o'clock in the morning, they're already guzzling down the wine. And they said this because in their wildest imagination as citizens of the world, they couldn't figure out where that kind of power or joy or love could come from. So you had to be drunk, they just couldn't get it. The world's power and the Christian's power are so different. So how is that power transferred to you and I? Well, I'm about to tell you another story that might well be how the transfer is going to happen at the First Baptist Church of Walton. This story was really, truly written especially for you, and is now presented for the first time as a loving and healing word for this congregation. The story begins in a time long past in a small community of believers far away, living in troubled times. Over the years, their once tightly bonded community and unity had been threatened by raging infernos of tragedy and fear and mistrust. and especially by the believed rumor that there was not enough to go around, not enough blessing, not enough time, not enough love. So the community was in decline, and the people knew that before too long they would fade away like dust blowing in the wind. It was at that moment of despair that a stranger arrived in town, known by no one and unwelcome. It was not long before the aging and suspicious leader of that fragmented folk approached the stranger to force from him an explanation for his presence. "What are you doing here?" he cried out, not even introducing himself. "What do you want from us? We are poor. We have nothing to give you. Why don't you just get out of town?" The stranger lowered his head, wounded by hostility and rejection, for he was a man of great sorrow and well acquainted with the absence of even a molecule of affection. And the only words that could escape his lips were, "I can't." "You can't?" the maddened man screeched back. "You can't? Yes, you can. Get out of town before I have the folk here tar and feather you and run you out on a rail." "I can't leave," the derelict protested in an almost inaudible voice. "I can't." "Why not?" This time there was just the faintest hint of sympathy in the superior's voice, for even he could tell that he was confronting a truly broken and lost soul. "Why can't you leave?" Detecting a mere suggestion of caring, the hapless traveler lifted his head and clarified. "I heard a story months ago on the road, in a distant country, a rumor really, concerning your village." "A rumor concerning our village? That can't possibly be a good thing," the leader muttered to himself, but the words that escaped his mouth were, "What rumor?" Simply, softly, with just a trace of hope in his voice, the vagabond whispered, "I heard that the Messiah lives in this village." "Here?" the leader shouted out, followed by a series of unspeakable curses. Having spewed his mockery, the old codger added, "Never, not here. You have wasted your time. You have come to the end of the earth. We are dying. There is no hope here. Nothing for you. Just leave." "I can't. I have nowhere else to go. Besides, I believe the story. And even more, I can feel the presence. The moment I crossed the creek into your town, I knew I would find the Messiah." At that, a dark thought popped into the chiefly man's manipulative mind. Maybe I can use this hapless bloke to build my fading popularity, or at least get a few laughs. And he abandoned the stranger and headed into town to call a meeting. Having hastily gathered the fragmented folk of the community into the town center, the mistrusted, disliked leader announced that they would soon come face to face with a stranger with as far-fetched a tale to tell as these weary and worn believers had ever heard. Starved for anything that might break up the tedium of their lives, the people began turning towards each other, asking questions to the effect of, "What's going on around here?" They did not have to wait long. "There he is," someone shouted. "I see him," proclaimed another. And there he was, an emaciated, dirty juvenile of a man, ragged, hesitant, and stumbling. The leader's servant guided him towards a wooden box and propped him up there with hands outstretched in case he began to fall. But there was no need for this caution, because the moment he saw the crowd and began to speak, this fragile man was suddenly and boldly in possession of a hope and a confidence that no one in that community had witnessed for many a year. and he broadcasted, I have been on a long journey, 1,000 miles for many days. I have been seeking you. I have been motivated by my suffering, by a vast emptiness, and by a promise that I would meet here my Messiah. The crowd exploded with nervous laughter and devious protests to the effect, who is this lunatic? But soon they were quieted by the simple fact that their mocking mirth had no effect on the stranger. He simply waited for a few minutes and continued. As I said, I have traveled many a mile with only the desperation of my need to give me strength and the hope in my heart to guide me. But on each new day, I would awake knowing exactly what direction to walk in and a growing certainty that I would eventually be greeted by the Messiah. The peculiar stranger with the bizarre message then stepped off the box. And with a bounce in his step, he went up to an old and sullen woman who stood close to the box. He took her hands, gazed quizzically into her eyes like he was a detective in search of a clue. He uttered not a word, but soon a smile took possession of his entire countenance, and then a tiny flash of light seemed to materialize from the woman's previously dim eyes. He released his grip and moved on. The stranger moved on to gaze into the eyes of every subdued and blurry and vague and hazy face. He took hold of the rough and tired and careless and empty hands of each and every member of that broken and dying community. And the smile in possession of his face seemed to glow ever more brightly with every encounter with a man or a woman or a girl or a boy. His steps became more gleeful. His poverty seemed to transmute into abundance. His grief seemed to convert into joy. By the time he had visited the final member of the community, he had veritably begun running and laughing and leaping and singing. All despair and death seemed to have lost their sting. And before they had a chance to think about it, about what was really happening before their eyes, the stranger walked away, disappeared around a corner, and was never seen again. Unable to grasp the meaning of this mandate from the unexpected, outlandish, and extraordinary stranger, one by one they left the town center and returned to their homes. But that night, the oddest peace settled over the community like a blanket of harmony. Everyone dreamed of feasts and waterfalls and couples being given in marriage and babies born into adoring homes, and hitherto unknown acts of generosity, hospitality, diseases cured, random acts of kindness. The next morning, a spirit of wonder seemed to seize the community, and as people went about their daily tasks and met each other on the street and in the shops, a single thought flashed from every mind. I wonder if he is the Messiah. A child was playing hopscotch. I wonder if she's the Messiah. Store clerk counted change. I wonder if he's the Messiah. A friend dropped by for tea. I wonder if she is the Messiah. A stranger drifted through town. I wonder if he could be the Messiah. Two carpenters were erecting a shed, and gazing at each other, each said to the other, I wonder if you are the Messiah. By the end of the day, everyone was relating to each other with a growing fascination and even respect and even love. Faces were beginning to be on fire with smiles. Work was being accomplished with new skill and energy. One by one, strangers began to arrive in that community. The moment they stepped over the creek, they sensed a lifting of whatever burdens they carried and a jubilant spirit of welcome. The once darkened and dying community came to life, and lives were restored to happiness. And the sun of reverence and deference and esteem and admiration never again set below the horizon on that community of faith. I came to tell you a mysterious and marvelous and amazing message of grace. The Messiah is among you. We hear that message again in the form of our New Testament text from Acts. So listen again to just the first 4 verses. When the day of Pentecost came, they were all together in one place. And suddenly there was a sound like the rush of a violent wind, and it filled the whole house where they were sitting. And divided tongues as of fire appeared among them, and a tongue rested on each of them. And all of them were filled with the Holy Spirit and began to speak in other languages. So now let's translate that simple announcement, the Messiah lives among you, into the language of this story. First, the story of Pentecost tells us that for the Messiah to live among us, for resurrection power to be upon us, we must first be together in one place. The Messiah comes to the community. The Spirit falls upon the people of God. And second, the story of Pentecost tells us that the Messiah is present to individual believers. And within individual believers, the Spirit falls on the community and the flame of fire on every person. The Spirit of the Messiah, the resurrected Jesus, is given within the community to individuals. So look around you, look within you. Actually look, do some of this, look around. Then look inside. Is the Spirit of fire within you? Will others see the Messiah by seeing you? Will others looking at you be open to the fact that the Messiah may be found within they themselves? Will others look at you with respect and admiration and hope and love that we have when we look upon Jesus? Yes, exactly that can happen. Will you look upon yourself with the respect and anticipation and hope and love that Jesus has for you? And will you speak with the distinct voice that the Spirit gives to you? And will we respect each and every voice? For one word of the Lord can only be spoken by one particular person. That can happen. The Messiah is among you and within you. Just see it. There's always bad news. I have to tell you about a problem within the church and a problem within our culture that interferes severely with our seeing the Messiah. Let me call this pernicious interference by the name hero worship. Hero worship, the worship of heroes, celebrities, super winners. The lie believed across the world is the falsehood, the manipulative propaganda that the one who will save us is a bigger-than-life hero, someone vastly more powerful than you or me. No flame of fire is going to fall on your head, not upon mine. What we must have, what we desperately seek, because we believe the lie, is some superhero who can do what God certainly cannot do through any of us. A supercharged pastor. Yeah, we'd like to find one of them. Educated, trained in authority, more holy and powerful than you and me. The Spirit of the Lord can fill him with power, and he knows that he is different, a different kind of believer, better, uniquely called, moral, and talented. We need him to be the voice of the Messiah among us, because the Spirit certainly can't fall on you. Or a super performing musician who can burst forth an impressive song at any moment, inspiring, applaudable, and laudable, professional, entertaining as an angel. Let her be the voice of the Messiah. Or from outside the church, a politician who can deliver us. Do for us what we cannot do for ourselves, who absolutely will keep all of his promises made in the heat of battle. Or a stellar business leader who says he can deliver on all those products we think we need. Let them be the voice of hope and promise. Let them be the Messiah to deliver us. Or men of military might, dropping bombs on infidels who threaten us. We can count on them to keep us safe. Let them be the voice of the Messiah. Superheroes who come in every shape or size we need them for. Entities of off-planetary might. Heroes who fly high in the sky. It's a bird. It's a plane. Able to leap tall buildings in a single bound and defeat the criminal element. Victorious over villains. Superman, Superboy, Supergirl, Superwoman. Batman, Robin, the Avengers, Spider-Man, the Incredible Hulk, Iron Man. All represent the deception that Mighty Mouse will save the day. Or Popeye will eat his can of spinach, bust Bluto to bits, and escape with olive oil to paradise. Superheroes, they defeat strength with more strength. They superpower with more superpower. Violence with undefeatable violence, we hope. By the way, for those who want to explore the theme of superheroes who save and violence that redeems in more depth, I recommend simply Googling the phrase "the myth of redemptive violence." I can't talk about everything today, so just refer you to look up the myth of redemptive violence, the lie of redemptive violence. Violence and superheroes redeem nothing, and hero worship is a lie. By the way, these things happen on a kind of regular basis to me when I'm paying attention, when I'm trying to tune into what God has in mind. And yesterday I was cleaning my office. My wife will say that is a miracle. I was cleaning my office, and suddenly on top of a pile of papers was an article I'd written July 29th, 2012. That's 6 years ago. It's called The Myth of Redemptive Violence. Talks about superheroes and all that. Bluto is mentioned here. Popeye attempts to rescue her. The massive Bluto beats his definitive opponent to a pulp while olive oil helplessly wrings her hands. And at the last moment, our hero writhes near dead on the floor, and Bluto is trying in effect to rape olive oil. And a can of spinach pops out of Popeye's eyes and spills into his mouth. Anyway, I copied a few of these if you want to learn more about that theme. It's a really good theme for Christians to be familiar with. Only resurrection power defeats evil. That's the message of the movie Paul, the Apostle of Christ. It gets repeated again and again as Paul is trying to tell Luke and the other Christians how to respond to the violence and the evil that are the Roman Empire. Violence always precipitates more violence. Hate breeds hate. Superheroes are not real. And besides, with God we have all we need. Resurrection power and the Holy Spirit landing on any and or all of us. So, to the kids who are left in the audience, go ahead, read all the comic books you want. Go to all the superhero movies. There's a good one showing right now. Well, we went to a theater with 2 screens. You know, we had about maybe half of the theater that we were in watching about Paul. That was about half full. The other theater was packed. What's that movie that's out now? That's one of them. There's another one. But anyway, they're all over. So go to the latest superhero movie and thrill to the flying, and the defeating, and the protecting, and the flying in the face of whatever imaginary dangers exist in the Marvel comic universe. Suspend your disbelief And imagine that you are Spider-Man himself. Put on your own hero costume while you are watching. Imagine yourself as the superhero. Enjoy flying for a while, but then come back down to earth. Do not even for a nanosecond believe the superhero violence lie, for the Messiah is among you and within you, and the resurrection power is upon you. You and the world have no need for a superhero. Not a superhero pastor, not a superhero musician, not a superhero president, not a superhero athlete, not a superhero general. The power belongs to the one and many upon whom the Spirit bestows it. It is faith and trust that stand as light against the darkness, and it is God who is our strength and our Redeemer. It is resurrection power that defeats evil, and it is love that overcomes the world. Never hate, never violence, and never a superhero. A stranger arrives in Walton. He is perhaps an emaciated, dirty juvenile of a man, ragged, hesitant, and stumbling. Or perhaps he looks like me. Or perhaps he looks like you. And he walks in and he walks down the center aisle of the sanctuary, and he's looking around, and unbidden and unknown stops somewhere in the center aisle and chooses one of us and whispers in your ear, "The Messiah is among you." So be it. Amen. We are going to sing together, "Let Every Christian Pray," number 229.